My stepmother, Ursula, is a nightmare, so I decide to get a bit of revenge on her. She's not a cheater, well, not yet, because I have something up my sleeve that's going to catch her in the act and prove to my father just how manipulative she is.
Hey guys, I need a bit of perspective, and I hope you'll bear with me. I'm a 24-year-old female still living with my dad and my stepmother. This might sound like your run-of-the-mill family drama, but my life turned into an absolute nightmare when Ursula, not her real name, first started talking to my dad. I'd always been a daddy's girl, loving my time with him, even though our home life was never exactly, stable? Both of my parents are alcoholics, and while my mom has been out of the picture for a while, my father's drinking only seemed to escalate after he met Ursula. When Ursula first came into our lives, I thought that she was just a short-term girlfriend, a fling. But the illusion shattered when she moved into our family home, and that's when things turned from bad to absolutely horrendous. Ursula has a wicked temper, and when she drinks, she becomes verbally abusive. Her favorite target seems to be me. But my dad has had his fair share too, and there's not a single night that goes by without her screaming at one or both of us, calling us names I won't even repeat here, and it's not just the words, though. There have been times where she actually gets physical with my dad. I remember once, after a heated argument, she threw a glass vase at him, hitting his shoulder. The bruise lasted for weeks, and he just shrugged it off, saying it was an accident. One of the things that hurt me the most is seeing the way Ursula manipulates my dad. When they're not drinking, they're always angry and emotional, but she seems to know just how to twist things to make him feel like he's in the wrong. She's actually convinced him that she's the best that he can do, and he just takes it. Even though I know in my heart that he deserves so much better. Despite everything, I love my dad more than anything. He's always been a good father to me, and we had our problems, sure, but he's my rock. And seeing him treated like this tears me apart. Living in the same house with Ursula has been hell, and the tension just never seems to ease. Every time I hear her car pull into the driveway, my heart sinks, and I brace myself for another night of anger and abuse. Even when things are calm, I can see the way that she looks at me like a burden, and like I'm the way of whatever twisted relationship she thinks she has with my dad. I'm in the way of it. She's made it crystal clear that she'd be happier if I were simply gone. And I know my dad is caught in the middle. I hate her with a passion. I didn't know I was capable of it, and she turned our home into a place I'm scared to be. And she's turned my father into someone I hardly recognize. I feel trapped and helpless, and all I want is for her to be gone. I have not retaliated, not yet, but the urge, it does grow strong every single day. I don't know if I'm being irrational, if I'm letting my emotions get the best of me, or if my feelings are justified. Please leave me some advice in the comment section. Update number 1. Hey guys, so it's been about 2 months since my last post, and sadly, the situation at home has not improved. If anything, it's become even more unbearable, and I feel like I'm on the brink of snapping. The drama between Ursula, my dad, and me has escalated to a whole new level of toxicity. We've gotten into several verbal altercations, mostly centered around her atrocious behavior and how she's been treating my dad and me. But instead of recognizing any fault or showing any remorse, Ursula only becomes more infuriated and unhinged. I'll never forget the night that she demands that I leave the house, screaming at me in a drunken rage, her face twisted with anger, and my dad, God bless him, stood by my side and refused to let her have her way. But that only seemed to make matters worse. In retaliation, she threw an adult tantrum right there in the living room, toppling over furniture and smashing a photo frame. I could see the fear in my father's eyes, but he was paralyzed, unsure of how to handle her. She stormed into the room that she shares with my dad, slamming and locking the door behind her. My dad was left asleep on the couch that night, all because he chose to support me. It's the little things like this that keep piling on, wearing me down and stressing me to the point where I know something has to change. My dad is losing himself, losing his love for himself, and losing any semblance of love for Ursula. Every day I see him slip further away, becoming a shell of the man that he once was, and all the while Ursula grows more and more monstrous, morphing into someone I can hardly recognize. The night my dad was forced to sleep on the couch, I laid in the bed, and the sound of the TV drifting in from the living room. My thoughts were basically frustration, and for the first time an idea began to shape in my mind. It was an idea of vengeance. I've never considered myself a vengeful person, but as I replayed all the bad memories, all the pain that she's caused my family since we've lived together, the thought grew more appealing. I know it's dangerous of a path to tread, but I can't help but think it's time to take matters into my own hands. It's time to stand up for my dad, for myself, and for the life that we deserve. I have not acted on this idea yet, and I'm not even sure what it would entail, but I can feel it there, in the back of my mind, a seed that's been planted waiting to grow. So, this situation remains a bit unsolved, and I'm left grappling my emotions. I'm torn between wanting to take action and fearing the consequences. I still love my dad, and I still hate Ursula with every fiber of my being. But now there's something new. Somewhat of a determination, a resolve that wasn't there before. I don't know where this road will lead, but I will continue to keep you updated. Thank you for listening. Update number 2. Hey guys, I'm back with an update that I'm still reeling from, and I need to share what happened over the past 4 months. After my last post, I could not shake the thought that I had to do something about Ursula. The idea of vengeance turned into a plan, a scheme, you could say, that I felt driven to execute. I knew that Ursula wanted in a man. I knew what it was. She'd always degrade my father for not having certain qualities that she desired: wealth, good looks, age. Armed with this knowledge, I set up a fake Facebook profile, posing as a handsome man in his mid-40s. Thanks to artificial intelligence, you can get any pictures nowadays. I flaunted wealth and fitted the exact mold of what I knew Ursula was looking for. I started messaging her, knowing that I was taking a dark and risky path, but I felt that I had no other choice. To be honest with you, I thought it was a little bit fun. The first few weeks I started messaging her, knowing that, well, it would be slow, with me sending sweet messages like, "Good morning, my love," and receiving only heart emojis in return, but it only took a few weeks I got my first response. Ursula! She was flirting with the fake profile I'd created. I was shocked, excited, and horrified all at once that she had taken the bait. At first, I think she thought I was fake, but when I used artificial intelligence to post a picture of this fake man in front of one of her favorite restaurants, well, she knew that I lived in town, or so she thought. Over the next 3 months, I continued to play along, watching as our conversations evolved from flirtatious to playful to downright sexual. I tried to keep a detached perspective, but the whole thing was like a twisted game that I was trapped in. And then it happened. Just like that, it happened. Ursula, she sent me a naked photo. My eyes were filled with rage, but my heart was pounding in my chest, and I knew it was time to act. Storming into the living room, I confronted my father, telling him everything and showing him the evidence on my laptop. Ursula, she was in the kitchen, oblivious to the storm that was about to break, and the fury of flames that followed was like nothing I've ever witnessed. My dad's rage, it was terrifying, truly. I've never seen him this mad, and his eyes were full of hurt. And me? Well, I'm left grappling with the morality of my actions. I mean, I did expose Ursula for what she was, but at what cost? I set the trap. I was the hunter. I manipulated her, played into her twisted games, and I can't help but feel a lingering sense of guilt. Well, the house, it's a war zone now. A place filled with anger, broken trust, you name it. I don't know what'll happen next, but I know that our lives have been irrevocably changed. I'll keep you updated, but please tell me this. Am I the a-hole for doing what I did? Or, well, have I become the very monster I sought to expose? Update number 3. Hey guys, this will be my last update, and I must admit I'm still processing everything that went down over the past month. The big incident, and when the dust had settled and the rage had quieted, something surprising happened. Ursula called my father and requested a divorce. There were no tears, no fights, no bitter argument. She simply acknowledged that what they once felt for each other was gone. The divorce happened quickly and was shockingly civil. Ursula did not request anything. She just packed her things and left the house that same week. No demands, no battles, just a silent exit that left me both relieved and a bit bewildered. I was surprised by her actions, and the woman who had been a constant source of pain and frustration in our lives seemed to take accountability for what she did by not giving my father a hard time during the divorce. It was though she recognized her wrongdoings and chose to make the process as simple as easy as possible for everybody involved. Well, I don't know how I should feel. What Ursula did was undoubtedly wrong, but I could not shake the feeling and the knowledge that I was the one who initiated it with the fake profile. I mean, yeah, she might have never cheated if it wasn't for me, even if it was only emotional cheating. The whole situation was a tangle of web of emotions, and I found myself struggling to untangle it. I did have a heart-to-heart with my dad. I expressed how I was feeling, and I was about to apologize, but he cut me off. His eyes filled with understanding and love, and he just said 2 words. Thank you. He said, you did what you had to do, and I'm blessed to have a daughter like you. His words were balm to my wounded soul. But the guilt still lingered, and we were both victims of circumstance, trapped in a toxic situation that had spiraled out of control. But, hey, we're now back in our home, the house feeling strangely empty without Ursula's presence. But there's a newfound peace that settled over us, and it is a sense of closure and a chance to rebuild. My father and I have grown closer through this, and our relationship has strengthened from everything that's gone down. We've both learned valuable lessons, but guys, I do want to ask you this last final thought. Am I the a-hole for exposing Ursula and leading to the divorce? Or was I justified in my actions driven by love and just a desire to protect my family? I welcome your thoughts. Thank you. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. So, wow, that was a pretty intense story. I do have multiple comments. I want to hop into them now, and we'll discuss which one of these comments has the best advice. Comment number 1 says this. I can't help but feel like Ursula was entrapped here. I mean, yeah, her behavior was wrong from your perspective, but OP manipulated her emotions and drew her into this trap. Relationships are complicated, and this, quote, experiment may have taken advantage of Ursula's vulnerabilities rather than revealing her true character. I don't know, it's a gray area for me, and I can't fully side against Ursula. Comment number 2. This entire situation is an absolute disaster. So let's start with OP's actions. While, yeah, understandable, very deceptive. Ursula's reactions and betrayals, they're inexcusable though, that's a fact. Breaking her loyalty to OP's father is far graver sin in my eyes, complete red flags from both parties though. But Ursula's disloyalty overshadows everything. It's a twisted web they wove. Anyways, everyone sucks here. Comment 3. Wow, what a story. I fully support OP and what she did. She was trying to protect her own father, and while herself from a toxic environment, Ursula was given the opportunity to stay loyal and chose not to, and it all started with heart emojis. The bond between OP and her father is inspiring, and It's clear she did what she thought was best for the family. Bravo. Comment number 4. This story resonated with me deeply. OP's courage and love for her father are commendable. Taking action against Ursula was a risky move, but it led to healing and liberation for both OP and her father. They've shown the strength of their bond, and I can't help but admire their resilience. This is a story of triumph, really. And comment number 5 says this. Reading this, my heart goes out to OP's father the most. The whole ordeal must have been incredibly painful, and yeah, I want to share something. I went through a similar experience during my own divorce, where trust was shattered and emotions were high. It's a wound that does take a long time to heal, and I just hope OP's father finds the peace and happiness. No one should have to endure such betrayal of cheating. I know some of the commenters are saying it was just emotional cheating. It doesn't matter. It still crushes you the same. As far as OP goes, well, she was protecting her dad, but I'm gonna have to say everyone sucks here.
Alright guys, that was an intense story. I think the comments though that are saying everyone sucks here, they might have some bit of truth behind them. However, I have to lean towards OP's side more. Even though she so-called entrapped Ursula, it was basically something necessary because she was living in a toxic environment. So that's why I'm going with comment number 3, which said, wow, what a story. I fully support OP in what she did. She was trying to protect her father and herself from this toxic environment. Ursula was given the opportunity to stay loyal and chose not to. So ultimately, that's true. Ursula did not have to flirt with this guy on Facebook, and she didn't have to send those heart emojis. But I do want to hear from you guys. Whose side are you on? Do you think OP sucks here? Do you think Ursula sucks? Do you think everyone sucks? Or do you just think it was a weird situation to be in? But also, my opinion is ultimately the one who suffered the most here was the father. So drop your opinions down below. Let's discuss it downstairs in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for daily revenge stories. I'll see you in the next one, and remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya!